Tony DeFran wants to know if you guys have heard anything about Sony's plans to delay The Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Somebody tweeted that to me last night. I have not heard anything about that. Have you guys heard anything about it?
I heard grumblings about it. Nothing as far as fact, but
nothing solid.
Yes, I wouldn't put any weight behind it until we know more about that. So, what's next?
Raymond G, the unemployed Jedi, wants to know, do you guys think we'll ever get another big shark movie? Deep Blue Sea was amazing, or did Sharknado ruin it?
Well, here's the thing. We talked about this before when somebody once suggested a Jaws reboot, and it looks like they might actually do a Jaws reboot.
No.
But the thing, it's not only Deep Blue Sea, which was a lot of fun. It was a really terrible movie, but a lot of fun. Like, give me LL Cool J as a chef, preaching stuff in the water. Okay, sure, you got me.
That Sam Jackson death.
That's one of the most shocking, unexpected death scenes I've ever seen. Very, very funny. But there was that. Then there was that Shark Night. Remember that was out a couple years ago, where it's like sharks in the bayou or whatever. Wow. It's like 18 different types of sharks, and people don't seem to be interested in shark movies now. And I don't think a slap your ass kind of movie like Sharknado, as fun, as much of a little like a cult following it got because of the ridiculousness of it and all that kind of stuff, I don't think that will translate into the revitalization of shark movies. Maybe in 10 more years, maybe in 15 more years. I don't see the interest for it. What do you guys think?
I think they do something like Deep Water. Remember that movie? Like something along those lines could be terrifying. I don't want to see the big overdone shark movie anymore because, to no fault of it, whatever the movie is, you're going to always compare it to Jaws. I don't really care to see one.
Also, right now, there's a stigma attached to it. It's just like a B movie that's run on like the Sci-Fi Network type of thing. So, not for a while.
All right, what's next?
Lowell Reynolds wants to know, why is DreamWorks Animation having such a hard time at the box office lately?
Are they? Really? I can't think. What was the last DreamWorks?
How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon,
Yeah,
too.
I mean, the thing about How to Train Your Dragon, though, I mean, it opened... It's a sequel opening against a really big other sequel in 22 Jump Street. The marketing for it wasn't great. As much as I really loved the first How to Train Your Dragon, the trailers for How to Train Your Dragon 2 didn't get my gears going. They didn't get me excited. And it certainly didn't suggest to me that the movie is as good as it actually is. And I finally went to go see it, and I lost my frickin' mind about how good this movie is. But let's not over-exaggerate it. It made $50 million on its opening weekend. That ain't bad, especially considering it opened against another big mega hit in 22 Jump Street that took in $60 million in its opening weekend. So I wouldn't worry too much about DreamWorks at this point.
Yeah, me either. It's going to have legs because what movies like 22 Jump Street and Maleficent and all these other big releases that come out have problems with is the next big release for the live action is next week. There are not a lot of kid movies, animation coming out for a bit. I think the next kids movie is Turtles, I guess, right? Is that the next big one? I don't even know what it is. But so I think it's going to have legs. I know as a parent, what do I take my daughter to see? Certainly not 22 Jump Street, so I'm going to be going to see How to Train Your Dragon 2 with her. So I think it's going to have legs.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many kids I see in these R-rated comedies that parents bring to.
It's dedication.
It's crazy. But yeah, legs. It has animated movies always have legs. It's going to keep going and going. That's how what was it? Despicable Me 2 was. It just kept going and going and going.
And the first How to Train Your Dragon didn't do that great in the theaters, but then legs on Blu-ray.
Well, look at the last one, Frozen, right?
Yeah.
Frozen. It's not like it set records for opening weekend or anything like that, but it just stayed and stayed. And now what is it, like the third or fourth biggest? It's in the top 10 biggest grossing film of all time.
Yeah, I think the highest Disney animation for sure.
Any animated film. It's the highest grossing animated film of all time, which is just crazy because it's a good movie. It ain't that good.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. There weren't a lot of movies for parents to take their kids to see in the theater. So, do you want to see Frozen now? Yeah, let's go.
Did you just say Frozen wasn't that good?
No, I said it's good, but it's not like top 10 all-time good.
Right, he's saying for the amount of money that it's made. Yeah, like that. Wow. Yeah.
I went to see Frozen twice in the theater. Okay, let it go. Let it go. I mean, but yeah. Anyway,
and you liked it more than I did, actually.
I did. I kid you not. Before the film came out, that stupid Disney did a brilliant thing, and they released Let It Go, that segment of the movie on YouTube for everybody to watch, and they never do that.
Right.
I kid you not, that song came out, released on YouTube. I'm getting ready to do the show. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, sitting around in my underwear, and I turn on YouTube on my TV just to watch it, just to get an idea, because we'll probably talk about the movie later. I put that thing on repeat, and I watched it like 9 times.
That's really good.
And I'm sitting there, grown-ass man in my underwear on my recliner singing, "Let It Go," like, just like this. It was
Do you want to
pretty
see a
ridiculous.
great YouTube video, by the way? They put Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
I saw that.
Yeah, that one's hilarious.
Let it go, can't hold
That
it
one's
back
hilarious.
anymore. It's the best thing I've ever seen.
That
Watch
was a
it.
great impression.
Okay, let's do a few more.
Justin Matthew DeRoy wants to know, who in the Marvel Universe would you like to see face off Batman versus Superman style?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, here's the disadvantage Marvel's at. In the DC universe, you have your 2 undisputed kings. I mean, the DC universe, you have your trinity. It's Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. But within that trinity, there are the 2 undisputed kings. That's Batman and Superman. I don't know that Marvel has your 2 undisputed kings of the Marvel universe. Like, some people may say it's a Spider-Man. Some people might say it's Captain America. Actually, you can make an argument for Captain America. But I'm not sure who you'd even have as those 2 logical choices.
X-Men versus Avengers. That's what I'd want to say.
Well, I mean, you're talking about collections and teams.
Collections. Like
I'd like to see Wolverine fight the Hulk.
One of the very first comic books I ever read in my life was a Wolverine versus Hulk.
And Hugh Jackman
comic
wants that. He said it in a few interviews that's the movie he really wants to do. Is he wants to fight Hulk? Yeah.
Nice.
And if you've ever read Old Man Logan,
Yes. Yeah.
you really want to see Wolverine fight the Hulk. That'd be really cool. But as far if not just teams, I wouldn't mind seeing Iron Man and Captain America in our cinematic universe that we got going on. Because remember in the Avengers, like he keeps saying, put on the suit, put on the suit. I wouldn't mind seeing Captain America take Iron Man down a couple of notches. All right, what else we got?
Jimmy Panda says, I love what you guys do, and you're a bright spot in my day. My question is, will Marvel ever do a reboot of The Punisher?
I would not bet against it. I've said this before. I don't see how Punisher right now, with this universe at Feige and the brain trust over at Marvel, have carefully crafted out. I do not see how a Punisher fits into this PG universe, right? But he's still the Punisher. At some point, they're going to figure out something to do. And remember, they're doing something with him on Netflix or something like that. But if we're talking cinematic universe, I've got to believe at some point, whether they set up a separate cinematic universe that's kind of a darker, can edge it a little bit into the R-rated territory or not, I'm not sure. I don't know how they're going to do it, but you got to believe at some point they will, don't you?
I think so, and I think they're going to go the route you're talking about. It's create a different brand that's more adult-oriented and put like Daredevil, Punisher, and maybe some other comic book characters there where you can have the violence and the swear, profanity, and all that stuff.
I think it's a plan in the Netflix space to see how they do with. I think they're doing like a rated R type Daredevil already. So if you can do that with Punisher, I want to see what was the name. I always messed up the name of what it was. Laundry Day with Thomas Jane.
Yeah, Thomas Jane. That was a nice little short.
It was a great. That was the best vision of the character of Punisher that I've seen so far, and it was nice to see the guy who played him in a movie that wasn't fantastic be able to bring that to screen in some form or another. I'd like to see that happen, and maybe if they're successful on Netflix, then there's no saying that we can't turn that into movies, and who knows what Doctor Strange will turn out to be, and we can connect it into that universe.
All right, let's take 2 more really quick.
Oh my goodness, I just shut it down because you said one more.
Did I say one more?
You did. You're throwing me for a loop today.
Sorry
but it's
about
okay.
that.
Don't worry about it. I got it. Walker wants to know, is there a director with a perfect track record?
Nolan.
Yeah.
Nolan, you go back to, I still think his most underappreciated, undervalued, and underviewed movie, Insomnia. Insomnia is, I think, awesome. If you want to see what a director can do and get the best out of like some aging superstars, go watch Insomnia, like Robin Williams, Al Pacino. It's a great film. Of course, you're talking Memento, you're talking The Prestige, you're talking Inception, you're talking, obviously, the Batman films. I mean, at this point, Nolan has not swung and missed.
I got one. It's a shorter career, but Affleck. Affleck has been
Gone Baby Gone, The Town, and Best Picture at Argo. Yeah, I mean, that's another one.
Yeah, it really just depends on what you mean by perfect track record in the sense of, did they make a clunker or a stinker? Yeah, Nolan, but then you have someone like, for me, like Scorsese. I don't love all of his movies. He's my favorite director. but I still like all of them. So to me, is that a perfect rating? So it really depends on what you're looking at.
All right, last one. Now this is the last one. I promise.
Now I can close it down. Austin Najjar wants to know, what are the chances we see a Sherlock III with RDJ?
Good. They've been trying for a while to get this going. I know they came close to getting it off the ground. Then they ran into a scheduling problem with Robert Downey Jr. Jude Law says, "Yeah, well, I'm just waiting for them to say we're ready to go." It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I don't know if in the next 2 years, but maybe like 2017. Have you guys heard anything different?
Yeah, I have actually, because I've got a buddy who actually works at Silver, and I've talked to him about it, and they're ready to go with it. They're waiting for Robert Downey Jr. He wants to do it. It'll happen.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.